Hello, I'm Dick.
And I'm Eric, and we're the Annuity guys.
Eric, there's a lot of misconception out there about how much money folks need to put into annuities to retire securely.
Well, all of it. Isn't that the standard answer? Put all your money in annuities and you can retire securely.
That depends on how much money you have. You may not have enough, even if it's all of it.
Yeah. So we're talking about assets. How much of your savings do you have to put into annuities to basically be secure in retirement? Now we got the we should disclose where we got the idea for this.
Joe Simons,
like diamonds,
right? Retirement think tank, and he's basically referring to a Cerulli study,
right.
And we will put that article from I think it's Insurance News Net, so that folks can read it. And also let's put Joe's video on the blog this week, so you can watch his video too. It's a short, about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But anyway, the key point in there, Eric, was that
confusion.
Well, about 72% of the people were wrong on their answer of how much income it would take to produce, how much money it would take to produce about $500 in income for the rest of your life starting at age 65.
Right.
72% were wrong.
It's actually more than that were wrong.
That was on the first.
That was only 4% were right.
Only 4% were right. You're correct. So my math is way off.
What was the worst part was the 72% were so far off.
Yes.
Because obviously, if you're going to get $500 a month for the rest of your life, starting at 65, so you're talking $6,000 a year. Mm-hmm. The first answer was $25,000, and that's where the majority of people, the 72%, thought they only needed $25,000 in savings in order to get $500 a month for the rest of their lives.
And how often do we see from folks coming in, and this is where folks, and it's nothing,
it's not a criticism.
It's not a criticism, right? I mean, if you've never really thought this through, and most folks haven't,
right.
We have folks all the time that come in, send us, hey, I've got $300,000 or $500,000 or $1 million. But let's just say that I've got $500,000 and I just want $50,000 a year for the rest of my life. How can I do that? So it's right. It's really unrealistic, and it's way out of the norms of what's recommended and allowable or acceptable.
I mean, even if you work from the old rule of thumb, which is that 4% withdrawal.
Yes.
If you got $100,000, pulling out 4%,
$4,000 a year.
Right.
That's
so if you take that rule of thumb. Now, here's the good news with annuities. It's higher than that.
It is. And
now, is it 10 times that? No. We've got good products, but not that good.
Yeah. Well, and folks, what you really have to do is you have to establish a baseline. You have to get down to what you're going to need in income. So you have to look at all of your income streams. You have to look at what happens if a spouse predeceases one or the other and at different time periods in one's lifetime. And you have to determine, how much you have in assets.
Right.
And Eric, one thing that I find is that folks go to these calculators online.
Sure.
And they try to do some financial planning.
The problem is when you go to a calculator, it's all based off of what you're putting in. Even the online versions that ask you questions, if your assumptions are wrong,
right?
Like the return on an annuity is 25%,
or even 7%, is very incorrect many times.
So unfortunately it's garbage in, garbage out,
right?
Because whatever you're inputting is going to base on what you're getting out from the output.
Well, and most of the calculators are very simple in nature.
Yeah.
They really don't go into the depth that's needed. Now, we do have on our website a very advanced calculator that folks can use. It takes some effort, though. You got to put some time into it, and you've got to run different scenarios. But it gets you a little bit more in the realm of how a financial planner looks at things and considers. So why don't we put that button on the page so folks can have access to it? Or you can go to our calculators, drop down, and it says Advanced Annuity Calculator.
It's a tool. It's a tool to help you with planning.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to put everything in and then click, buy now. I found a perfect annuity. It gives you at least an idea of what you need from a savings standpoint to get a comfortable retirement.
Right. So, folks, what you're really going to want to do is work with somebody that really specializes, in the area of income planning. And what we like to do with annuities, when someone says, how much do we have to put in annuities, where do we go, Eric?
We go backwards and say, all right, let's back up what do you need from an income standpoint?
Mm-hmm.
What's this annuity supposed to do for you? Because if we don't know the target, we can never successfully hit it.
So we want to put the least amount in annuities that we have to, or at least start there.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why folks want to put more money into annuities once they understand how they work, but let's start out by figuring out how we can put the least amount in.
Right.
Let's determine the income need.
Let's solve the income question.
Yes.
And after that point in time, then we can construct the rest of the portfolio to balance out your needs based off of what your financial objectives are.
Yes. So folks, the amount is going to be so different for every person in terms of what they're going to need. I mean, some folks have a great pension. All they need is to secure some money for a plan B, a fallback position, for some growth, for inheritance. Other folks need a fairly large income because they don't have much in Social Security. They don't have any pensions. So they have to look at their nest egg to really produce a large income. Every one of your situations will be different. So again, work with a specialist. Get to the point where you know what you actually need so that you can secure your retirement with at least a portion of your portfolio in annuities.